I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that any convention featuring an authentic, show-used kit from the ultimate 80s action masterpiece Knight Rider is a must-see attraction. Well, this past summer, I was fortunate enough to get some quality time with the ultimate crime-fighting supercar and enjoy my favorite date on the retro gaming convention calendar. It's time to check out the 2022 Retro World Expo, emanating from the Connecticut Convention Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Let's check out some of the notable finds on the vendor floor, as well as the other activities that took place at this year's show. Nintendo powers, a Game Boy printer, the Sega handhelds, classic Atari games. Here's one I picked up, the Sears Telegames 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. That's a super rare game to find. Classics like No Escape from a Magic with a free joystick offer. There were Stormtroopers. Now, I didn't bring one of those home, but I did bring home some cool Atari and ColecoVision games. There were, of course, loose consoles, boxed consoles, you name it. Lots of representation from the older generations of classic games at this year's show. This vendor had Atari advertising. Very, very hard to find. Really cool. Intellivision News. Most people didn't know there was a newsletter for Intellivision. Of course, all sorts of games to fill out your collection of disc-based games, be it PlayStation, Wii, of course, boxed Nintendo Entertainment System games. Just something for everyone, no matter what you collect in the retro game space. It was all here. Here's some big box PC games, another thing that you rarely see at the conventions. But it was all in force here at Retro World Expo. What a selection of cool stuff. Arch Rivals, this was a really minty copy. I had to pick it up. And of course, there were some really great modded and improved handhelds with clearer screens and backlights. Some more minty NES games. Very happy to find these at very good prices. A very rare Commodore monitor. I was very tempted on that one, but I only had so much space in the car. As you might imagine, it was difficult just figuring out what to buy. Sega Master System represented as well, another platform that never gets enough love at the convention scene. Even more Commodore 64. Again, super excited to see home computing stuff coming back with a vengeance. VHS, now very collectible these days in the retro scene, and there was plenty of representation. The vendor floor wasn't the only thing hopping at this show. There was an expansive retro console area. For those who like tabletop gaming, there was an area where you could jump into your favorite tabletop game, or maybe make some new friends. You never know who you're going to run into at the Retro World Expo. One of my favorite parts of the Retro World Expo is the arcade, the free-to-play video games. Lots of coin-op classics. And who's this wacky fella? And that's a look at this year's Retro World Expo. This has always been one of my favorite shows on the convention calendar. You definitely don't want to miss next year's show. It's coming once again to the Connecticut Convention Center in Hartford, Connecticut on August 26th and 27th.